It's hoopening! Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we're diving into Crown Tundra leaks, which yes, they seem to be surfacing on the internet right now, and there are some sprite leaks of supposed shiny forms and new Pokemon that have been revealed. Now, they are coming from a Twitter account called CentroLeaks, which is known to be a leaked, reliable source of Pokemon information from the past. I actually have them as one of the few accounts that I get notifications on, so I got this right away, and I wanted to bring this as a journalist, as a reporter to you guys. I am not the source of the leaks. Let me make that very clear. I'll put the source of the leaks in the description below, or at least where I got my information from. I do believe this to be real. However, there is always the chance that this is fake, but I do believe this to be real. It's spreading like wildfire, and I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of leaked information coming in the next couple days if this does indeed come to be true. I do want to warn you guys, there is leaked information in this video, so do not proceed if you're afraid of being spoiled. Although I will say, you know, there's not a ton of crazy spoilers here because the images are pretty blurry at this time, but I felt like it was definitely worth covering. You may have seen a trailer at the beginning of this video, by the way. I am announcing that I'm doing an 82-hour charity live stream marathon on twitch.tv/aDrive. Last time for the Isle of Armor, we raised $93,800. We're aiming to raise over $100,000 for the kids in hospitals through Games for Love, which is an incredible non-profit charity that I'm excited to be a part of. So if you guys want to watch Crown Tundra, you can watch it with me live as I stream for 82 hours with a couple of my friends. It's going to be incredible, by the way. So I'm very excited for that. And also, if you didn't hear, I'm having my first ever G Fuel flavor, which is going to be pretty cool. But if you guys enjoy these types of videos, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Get those notifications turned on because you do not want to miss this leaked content. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's take a look at these leaks and figure out exactly what's going down. So about a half hour prior to me posting this video, Centro Pokemon Leaks came out and said, "Welp." And then they followed up with another tweet that said, "Oh my sweet Jesus," in an animation form, which I think is from the movie Dodgeball. Then they dropped the leaks. It says, yes, it's happening. Yes, it's time to abandon the internet. And they posted a blurry image of these sprites. Now, whether these sprites were blurred by Centro or whether they received the sprites blurred is to be determined. But what this seems to indicate is the Shiny Sprites and these sprites, which I assume are like Pokemon Home icon sprites or something of the like. Maybe they're data files that are transferred into Sword and Shield. But these little menu icon sprites seem to be the regular forms and the shiny forms of the various Pokemon, and they do directly line up with the leaks that we had previously gotten from Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra, right? So again, leaked content. If you don't want to go any further, you probably should stop watching. But what we know is that in terms of new Pokemon, we know from the data files that Calyrex has a fusion with two particular horse Pokemon, a dark horse and a light horse. And what these sprites are indicating are the shiny forms of what we believe to be Regieleki and then Regidraco, right? And their shiny forms, although Regieleki's shiny form is very hard to kind of decipher. Regidraco is a little bit more obvious. And then what we seem to see as these new horse type Pokemon, the light horse, as well as the dark horse, and then Calyrex, of course, Calyrex's shiny sprite, and the other horse fusion Pokemon, which is Calyrex and the light horse and the dark horse fusion Pokemon. This is insane, dude. So we knew these to be kind of leaked information again through the Crown Tundra, but now we have this information of these actual sprites, and I'm legitimately watching this tweet as the retweets are going up and up and up as this news spreads like wildfire, and it is some crazy stuff here. So unfortunately, like I said, the sprites are really blurry. So if we look at Regieleki here, it's a little bit difficult to decipher what its shiny is going to be because the yellowing is very similar. But what that does tell us is if this is legit, which I believe it is to be at this point. But again, there is always the chance that this is fake. I do want to just preface that. I think it's legit, I really do. But there's always the chance that it's fake. From Regieleki, we see that it's a very minimal change on its shiny sprite, almost like a Pikachu type change. It's so minimal, you could barely even tell. When it comes to Regidrago, however, it actually looks pretty dope, right? We see a very different color blue on its shell pieces, right? The skull, the dragon skull around it, very, very epic there, right? We see this blue coloring around it. It seems as though its body stays a very similar color, so perhaps it's like eyes change or some of the small colorations, small details change on it. But it seems as though that generally it is going to be pretty similar outside of its big kind of arms, right? Then we look at these new Pokemon, and unfortunately at this moment we just have little sprites of them. But what we do see here is what we believe to be the White Horse Pokemon, which seems to have 4 legs and to look very similar to just a standard horse, right? It doesn't seem to have anything that would stand out. It doesn't have wings from what we can tell at this point. Again, we're looking at very blurry sprites here, right? But it doesn't have wings or anything like that that would indicate it being a Pegasus or anything. But we do see that, and then we see a very similar shiny sprite, right? We see a what seems to be, it doesn't seem to have a ton of differences. I'm actually gonna check a DM here. That's not the DM that I was hoping for. I reached out to them, I was like, yo, DM me. To see if I can get the unblurred images for you guys. But anyway, so the White Horse, again, it seems like its shiny form isn't all that different. Then we have the Dark Horse, which seems to have a much more different shiny form. And it seems as though it's got a lot of purple coloration to it. But then when its shiny form is revealed as the sprite, it's got more reds, magentas, orangey type colors on it, as opposed to that purple coloration, which is a little bit different. So that's kind of exciting there. Then we've got Calyrex, right? And Calyrex, of course, kind of the new legendary for the Crown Tundra, the main focal point, which seems to be a very important Pokemon in the Crown Tundra. We see Calyrex, and then we see Calyrex's shiny sprite. And again, very minimal differences here. We're talking about a few pixel differences in terms of the colorations on it. So that kind of tells me that its shiny form is going to be very, very minimal. Much like Kubfu and Urshifu. Like if you look at Kubfu and Urshifu's shiny sprites, they're very similar. Even though they were never released, they are very similar. And for those who don't know, just because a shiny sprite exists, doesn't mean we can shiny hunt this Pokemon, which is unfortunate. It does not mean we can shiny hunt the Pokemon. It just means that the shiny sprite exists. And then we see the fusions, and we know that these are the fusions because you can see basically the white coloration of the horse and then the green coloration of what would be Calyrex's head or cap or whatever, right? And then the same exact thing on the dark version, right? A darker version of this horse with what looks to be Calyrex's crown at the top. This is crazy stuff, man. I'm not even kidding. This is some wild stuff as we see the first leaks, supposed leaks for Crown Tundra. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this in the comments section below. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you think these are legit or not? Again, I do think that they are legit. I really do. And this is the first leaks, and I have a feeling that there could be many, many more today. As I said, these leaks are getting crazier and crazier by the second. We actually have another leak after I finished recording this video, and we have these shiny sprites, and it seems as though now we know that these leaks are coming from Pokemon Home data leaks, so we shouldn't really get anything other than sprites at this point, maybe some moves and stuff, but we'll have to see as the day progresses. But these shiny sprites have officially leaked, and my artist KG is going to recreate these sprites for you guys, so we don't use officially leaked images. But these sprites are very interesting. It actually shows the 3 legendary birds and their coloration actually being more of an homage, I guess, to... Is that the right word? I have to look that up. Homage is totally the right word. It looks like an homage to the original legendary birds, of course, with Articuno getting this beautiful blue coloring, by the way. Galarian Articuno is my favorite shiny of the 3 by far. Zapdos losing its kind of dark orange coloring, going with the more traditional yellow. And then Moltres just straight up looks like regular Moltres when it's shiny. This is insane. Now I 1,000,000% at this point believe that this is legitimate. I don't have any doubts that these are legitimate sprites from Pokemon Home, at least at this point. And this is some crazy stuff, guys, of what's going down for Crown Tundra. It does actually raise the question of how did this happen? Like, how did we get to these in the first place? Because this is pretty crazy stuff. Furthermore, I wanted to mention this because I thought that this was really valuable. I'm actually going to pull it up right now. I saw this morning that there's going to be an update for Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home is going to undergo maintenance from October 22nd, 23 UTC to October 23rd, 4 UTC. Now, 4 UTC, as far as I know from a quick time conversion, let's see, 4 UTC to EST, which is my time zone, is midnight, right? So this is saying that there is going to be a Pokemon Home maintenance, as per Cerebi.net. There's going to be a Pokemon Home maintenance going from 23, which is 5 hours prior. So that's like, what is that, 7 o'clock at night? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 o'clock at night, Pokemon Home is going to go down, and then it's going to go until midnight EST, which would mean that chances are the rollout starts right when the update ends. So we're expecting the Crown Tundra to drop at midnight EST, which would technically be the 23rd. My marathon's gonna start at 9 a.m. EST on the 23rd either way. Like, I'm starting my marathon the next day, which gives you guys a chance to get ahead if you want to get ahead or whatever it may be. But some pretty crazy stuff, man, from the leaks, some pretty crazy stuff from the Pokemon Home information, which I think is very valuable. I was actually gonna make a separate video on that, but I'm just gonna throw out the Pokemon Home stuff here at the end because I felt like that was just something extra to give you guys. But that's what's going on. And there may be more stuff coming today, but this was a bombshell. I don't know if they're gonna keep dropping more information, but I had to get you guys this info right now. So hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, of course. You guys can check out the source of the leaks. Again, I am just a reporter here. So Nintendo Ninjas, if you see this, just remember that we have freedom of press where I live and I'm allowed to make this video. I just want to make that crystal clear. I'm just a reporter here. I am not the original leaker. Let me just make that really clear. Because I know that there was some issues last time. I know. I saw it. I was there. I didn't get in trouble, but I was there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Get excited for my Crown Tundra charity marathon. I'm very excited about that, and I hope you guys will show up there. Like the video, subscribe, get those notifications turned on, man. You don't want to miss our Crown Tundra footage. And that's it for me, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this Crown Tundra video, you should definitely check out this one right here. Otherwise, this one's pretty awesome. Check out both of them or the Nintendo Ninjas. They're going to come get you.